In Pakistan's massive economy, there's an incredibly important and often invisible referee, making sure everyone plays by the rules. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and take a deep dive into that referee, the Competition Commission.
You know that feeling, right? You're out shopping and it just seems like prices are way too high, or that no matter where you look, there's not a lot of real choice. It's that nagging sense that the market isn't exactly playing fair. Well, that's exactly what we're talking about. So who's supposed to blow the whistle when the game feels rigged?
Well, that brings us to the hero of our story, the Competition Commission of Pakistan, or the CCP for short. They are, quite literally, the official referees of the entire economic playing field.
So what is the CCP, really? Think of it like a market watchdog. It's a totally independent body, and it's got real teeth. It has powers similar to a court, which means it can investigate companies and actually enforce the rules. Its entire mission is to make sure businesses compete on a level playing field, which, at the end of the day, is a huge win for all of us.
You know, keeping competition fair isn't some new idea in Pakistan. There was an older law way back in 1970, but, well, it had its limits. The real game changer happened in 2007 when the CCP was born, and then in 2010 it got its full legal muscle with the Competition Act. That act is basically the modern rulebook for how the game is played today.
Okay, so how does the CCP actually do its job? How does it enforce these rules? Well, it all comes down to 4 key pillars. This is basically its toolkit for keeping the market fair. Let's break them down one by one.
First up, pillar number 1 is all about preventing the biggest fish in the pond from just swallowing everyone else. You see, if one company gets so powerful that it can do whatever it wants without worrying about competitors, that's called a dominant position. The CCP's job is to step in and make sure that company doesn't use its muscle to unfairly crush smaller rivals or take advantage of you, the customer.
Pillar 2 is all about stopping secret deals. This is when companies that are supposed to be competing with each other actually agree to work together behind the scenes. The most classic example? A cartel. That's when a bunch of companies get together and agree to fix prices, keeping them artificially high for all of us. The CCP is basically the detective agency that hunts down and breaks up these illegal agreements.
Now, pillar 3 is one we can all relate to. It's about protecting us from deceptive marketing. You know, when a company makes crazy claims about its product or just flat out misleads you in an ad, the CCP steps in to shut that down. It's really about making sure what you see is what you actually get.
And finally, the 4th pillar. This one is about looking into the future. So, when 2 huge companies decide they want to merge and become one giant corporation, the CCP has to review that deal. They need to make absolutely sure that this new mega company won't just kill off all the competition, which would lead to higher prices and fewer choices for us down the road.
All right, so that's the theory. But let's see what this looks like in the real world. How does the CCP actually use these pillars to make a difference? Let's check out a couple of recent cases that show the Commission in action. Remember that second pillar we talked about, breaking up those illegal backroom deals? Well, the CCP is always on the hunt for cartels. This is some of their most important work, as you're about to see.
Take a look at this headline. This is from a massive case in the poultry industry. The CCP went after what they believed was a cartel, and when the case went to court, the court backed their investigation to keep going. This sends a really strong message. If you're suspected of fixing prices, the CCP is coming for you.
Okay, let's look at another one. This time, it's about protecting consumers from being tricked. This is pillar number 3, stopping deceptive marketing in the wild.
So here's another real-world example. The CCP started an official inquiry into a major tire company because of a complaint about their marketing. This is huge because it shows the Commission isn't just sitting around waiting for problems. It actively investigates to make sure companies are being straight with us.
But look, the CCP's job isn't just about slapping fines on companies. A massive part of what they do is actually proactive. It's about preventing this kind of stuff from happening in the first place by building what they call a competition culture.
And they do this in a whole bunch of ways. They'll do deep dives into different industries to spot problems before they blow up. They run workshops to teach businesses what the rules are. They even team up with universities and other big regulators like the National Accountability Bureau and the SCCP. It's really about making education just as important as enforcement.
Okay, so they're definitely busy. But is any of it actually working? I mean, what's the real measurable impact of all this? Let's take a look at the numbers.
Let's start with the big one, penalties.
In just 1 year, 2025, the CCP imposed a mind-blowing 2.36 billion rupees in penalties on companies that broke the rules. A number like that sends a crystal-clear message. If you cheat, it's gonna cost you. Big time.
And here's what's even more important. It's one thing to issue a fine. It's another thing to actually collect it. In that same year, the CCP recovered over 933 million rupees. That shows they have real enforcement power. These penalties aren't just empty threats.
And this hard work isn't going unnoticed. The Global Competition Review, which is a major international publication in this field, gave the CCP a 3-star rating. Now, to put that in perspective, that puts Pakistan's competition agency in the same league as authorities in countries like Switzerland and South Africa. That's a huge stamp of approval.
So we've seen what the CCP does, and we've seen that it's actually pretty effective. But let's bring this all back home. Why should any of this actually matter to you in your everyday life?
At the end of the day, it's pretty simple. When the CCP does its job, we all win. It means fairer prices because companies have to compete for your money. It means more choices when you go to the store. And it pushes businesses to actually make better products and come up with new ideas. A competitive market is a healthy market, and that's good for everyone.
So from busting cartels to reviewing huge corporate mergers, the Competition Commission of Pakistan is a vital player in shaping the country's economy. Their work helps ensure the game is fair for everyone. And that leaves us with one last question to think about. As our world keeps changing with new technologies and new industries popping up all the time, what's going to be the next big fight for a fair market?